Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here today. It is with profound disappointment and sadness that I announce the resignation of Florida Atlantic University head football coach Carl Pelini and defensive coordinator Pete Rextis. They tendered their resignations to me late this morning after I confronted both coaches with reports relating to their use of illegal drugs. On Monday, I was made aware of these concerns, and I immediately reported the allegations to our general counsel. The university acted quickly and decisively to follow up and take action that is in the best interests of our student athletes and the university overall. I can assure you that we have no information that suggests anyone other than these two individuals engaged in these activities. I am personally very saddened for our student athletes, coaches, and staff. I just met with the players moments ago and notified them of the news. As you can imagine, the reaction was shock, dismay, and disbelief. What I do know is that the 2013 FAU football team is a resilient group of young men, and they will work through this and learn and grow from this experience. It is a heartbreaking day for us all. I'd like to emphasize that nothing takes a higher priority than the health, safety, and well-being of our student athletes. We'll work to ensure that any student athlete's questions and concerns are addressed. And let me reiterate, we have no information indicating any student athletes were involved in any illegal activities. Offensive coordinator Brian Wright will serve as interim head coach, effective immediately. I have great confidence in Brian and his abilities to lead this football program. When I asked Brian to take this role, he accepted it without hesitation. He is surrounded by 8 assistant coaches that are 100% committed to our program and student athletes. I will take questions, but please understand that we are still investigating this situation, which involves personnel matters. Therefore, I am limited in what I am able to discuss with you. However, before taking questions, Mr. Pelini asked that I read the following statement. Quote, "I apologize for exercising poor judgment. My greatest concerns at this time are for my family, the dedicated FAU players and my staff. I am confident that Pat Chun and the university administration will continue to move the program forward." Close quote. With that, Dieter?
Have the police called to the FAU Oxley Center this morning?
Yes.
Or is anyone arrested?
No.
At what point did Carl and Pete meet with you?
I met with them at the conclusion of football practice today.
What kind of drugs were there?
Illegal drugs.
Monday you were let known by this. What was the situation that led to you being told that something was wrong?
Information came forward on Monday. Like I said, I notified our general counsel right away. The university, we made a decision, let's gather as much information as possible. Once we gathered what we felt was an appropriate amount of information, we acted quickly and decisively to try to get to this point where we're at today.
Was it use of drugs or was it possession of drugs?
We're in the midst of this investigation, but I'm comfortable telling you it is use of drugs.
Be more specific about the type of drugs we're talking about?
Illegal drugs.
It's been reported, I'm Brian Begin, Palm Beach Post.
Hello, Brian.
It's been reported marijuana.
Like I said, it's illegal drugs.
Was this a one-time thing, to your knowledge, or was this a pattern?
It's illegal drugs. It's,
Well, the incident that you heard of,
We're-
was it one incident or was it multiple?
we're in the midst of an investigation. There's minimal things there's minimal things I can discuss.
You know, the information that, I'm sorry, Tim Reynolds from the AP.
Hello, Tim.
The information that came to you, there's a report that there was a photo posted on social media.
No, it was not.
Thank you.
Sir, did this happen on campus at all?
It did not.
Did it happen on the most recent road trip?
It did not.
Were there any players, sir, present at the time of your use of the drugs?
No, there are not.
So this was a private gathering with just these two coaches?
Like I said, we're in the middle of an investigation, but from all of from everything that we have uncovered, no student athlete was involved, no other coach was involved with this, it was just the two.
Is there a precedent regarding this? Did you counsel with any other athletic directors or any people that you trust to see what the best course of action would be in such a scenario?
You know what I did? I wasn't looking for precedents. I think more I leaned on our general counsel. I know, like I said, from Dennis, the directive is we're going to do the right thing. We're going to act swiftly and decisively. So this was more about, all right, we got this information. Let's see if there's any validity to it. Once I confronted Carl and Pete today, they tendered their resignation. So, I mean, literally, this has been 48 hours. It's been a blur.
How did that meeting between you three go down?
Well, I met individually. It was emotional, as you can imagine, but both tendered their resignation.
They both admitted to it?
They both tendered their resignation.
Pat, the difference between termination and resignation here, if you had information, I'm guessing you could have terminated for cause. Why resign?
Well, we were still in the middle of an investigation. They admitted, to wrongdoings, and they resigned on the spot.
When you mention investigation, who is leading that investigation? Is there a specific department or are there specific people, the police?
Specifically, initially, was myself and our, senior associate athletic director, Melissa Dawson. And then once we engaged our general counsel, that's how we, that was our team.
So it's remained inside of
And so,
that.
correct.
What information did you find out that was able to bring it to light?
Two people came forward initially, and once people came forward, we had to look into it. And then once we started asking some more questions, and literally, it all culminated today when I confronted Pete and Carl, and once I confronted them, like I said, they tendered their resignation.
Would you say that they were blindsided at all by the situation, or was there a sense from your vantage point that they knew it was coming?
I could not guess what their emotions were.
Was it at an official FAU event? Or was it a private party?
Repeat the question.
The incident that was brought to your attention, was it an official FAU event or was it a private event?
I can tell you it was not an official FAU event. Like I said, it was not done on our campus. It was not done with any other member of our football program involved, no student athletes. This is outside of FAU.
Were both of them let out of the Oxley Center by police?
That I was not with them when they left the building.
The incident that you're talking about, when did this happen, or do you know a time frame for that?
Like I said, we're still in the middle of an investigation, so I'm limited in what I can comment on.
Did you call the police to the Oxley Center, or was someone in your direct circle responsible for making that call to the police?
I made that decision based on just from a safety standpoint. It didn't, there's university property that it was more specific because we had university property that had just been part of our investigation I needed to bring. And we have a great relationship with our police. Carl and Pete have a great relationship with our police. There was I don't want to phrase this as there was a need from a negative side. It's just some nice support, and like I said, they were there to help us confiscate university equipment.
Have both completely evacuated the premises?
I have not checked their offices, but we try to give them an appropriate amount of time to clear their offices and leave the building.
Were they able to speak to their players? After
No, they were to clean their offices and leave immediately.
Will that opportunity be given?
No, it will not.
Did you have the police there in part because you were concerned about people losing their tempers?
No. Like I said, I'm to continue our investigation, we needed university property recovered. So it was just easier to do it that way.
How did you come upon Brian? Was he just the last man standing, kind of, the interim coach?
No, we have a full palette of assistant coaches. Brian, through the course of the last year and a half, I mean, you're always making assessments on people. You always play the what-if game. I have a great amount of faith in Brian. He's a good man. He's been well mentored in this business. He works diligently at his craft. I think there's a high upside with Brian as a coach. And like I said, without hesitation, he accepted the mantle.
Was there any consideration given for the last 4 games to bring Coach Schellenberg back?
No.
Where do we go from here? What is your next step?
Well, we have a football game Saturday. The program, helping these kids process this information. Our responsibility are these student athletes. Change is tough on everyone. Change is especially tough on 17 to 22-year-olds. So it's just helping them process and grieve. I mean, let's make no mistake, this was a head coach a lot of them looked up to, probably all of them looked up to, a defense coordinator they all looked up to. This is tough. So we got to make sure that, sports, our job is about using sports to teach life lessons. And that's what we talked about. That's what I talked about with them today when I just left them.
How would you describe that meeting between you and the players?
Like I said, it's a lot. It's the reaction. It's the reaction you guys probably have right here. This is not what you expect to hear. It's probably not what they expected to hear. But those coaches are unified in moving this thing forward. Those kids have put in a lot of work, time, and effort to get to continue the momentum of this football program. I mean, there's a lot of pride in that room. They just got to get through this grieving process quick.
At what point do you begin looking for the next head coach?
Literally that process started the second the head coach tendered his resignation. So, I mean, we're in, our search has officially begun.
In the chain of command, I guess, that existed for football about 6 hours ago, Jeff Sims seems like, was the associate head coach, does he stay in that role?
Yeah, he'll stay in that role.
Was there any particular reason why he chose one over another?
No, it's not picking one over the other. There was no decision other than the fact I know Brian is ready for this opportunity. It's not picking, Jeff Sims is a very good football coach. I have a lot of respect for Jeff. He's all in. This is just a decision had to be made. I know what Brian Wright is made of.
You may have said this already, but who is taking over the defensive coordinator?
Javon DeWitt will assume that role.
What was Brian's reaction to this whole thing when you came to him?
Like everyone, initial shock. But once I explained to him what was going on, I offered him the position. He accepted it without hesitation.
Beck, why did you push for this investigation? Why is this unacceptable for your football coaches?
Well, we hold ourselves to a standard here. That behavior, that conduct is unacceptable for a lot of reasons. But like I told our student athletes today, we all have responsibilities. We're trying to, I mean, when you wear the logo of Florida Atlantic University, you're wearing it 24 hours a day. When you're the head coach of our football team, when you're a football player, when you're an assistant coach. And we hold you to a higher standard, and you have to hold yourself to that standard. Decisions were made that ultimately hurt some people. And there's consequences for those decisions. But that conduct is not acceptable by anyone in our administration, not acceptable by me, not acceptable by President Crudell. So there was no, once the behavior was identified, there was no debate, there was no should we, shouldn't we. It was let's move forward, let's move on as a university.
Any consideration to drug testing the rest of the coaching staff?
No.
No consideration?
Well, I will say this. From all of our information, it is, and from everything we have uncovered, it is isolated to those two.
The people that came forward to you, would you categorize them as boosters?
We're in the middle of an investigation. I can't comment on that.
What are you looking for with that investigation as it goes forward? What other information would you like to glean from it?
We want to do our due diligence. We're not going to be, we don't want to be blindsided by anything. I'm pretty confident where we're at today, but, there's obviously some I's we got to dot and T's we got to cross. But we just want to make sure that this university is better for having gone through this situation.
When a head coach is no longer the head coach with 4 games remaining in the season, are you afraid at all of extreme unrest on the football team? You have now assistant coaches that are going to have to start looking for other jobs, knowing the nature of the business.
Correct.
You have players who are going to consider transferring out of the school.
Correct.
How do you quell those possible problems?
Well, like I said, I have a great amount of faith in Brian Wright and the assistant coaches that are still here. They're professionals. I know the bond of that football team. They care about each other. They've made too many promises to each other inside that locker room, from the coaching staff to the players. They will give their best effort. I don't question the professionalism of this coaching staff. It's not going to be easy, but it's a distraction. But I don't question the professionalism of this coaching staff.
Is there any reason to believe that this was more than a one-time incident?
Like I said, we are in the middle of investigation. We'll.
Question the professionalism of the coaching staff before this?
No.
Does that not give you cause to maybe question the professionalism now that this has happened? Did you say it the first time?
I'm not going to apologize for believing in my people. You know, this is, like I said, for everyone, this is surprising behavior, but it's behavior we won't tolerate. It's behavior we're holding people accountable for.
I'm assuming they're facing formal charges, and can you say what those are?
This is an HR matter.
So that is who is conducting the investigation, HR?
It's internal, starting with athletics. We just got to make sure we're clear on our end with everything.
And then it goes to HR?
They've been the general counsel has been a part of this from the absolute beginning.
So no formal charges.
From what I know of right now, no. Correct. This is a personnel matter.
Was there ever a moment in which you thought that there would have been criminal charges stemming from this scenario?
No, because our general counsel has been very communicative, open. No, the whole process, we've worked arm in arm and discussed every scenario and all the possibilities and what we were uncovering. So that didn't come in my head because of the great counsel I was receiving.
How long ago was the incident that you alluded to, the obvious fire starter? Was that recent? Was it a couple months ago? Was it a year ago?
Like I said, I can't comment on that because of the investigation that we're still in.
Will there be a formal report on the investigation at any point?
No, there will not be.
Will you let us know when the investigation's over?
Like I said, this is 48 hours old. All right, you have to let me get through this. I did not start this week expecting to be standing here today. Okay, so this has been a blur these 48 hours.
Is Brian still the offensive coordinator as well? Or?
You know what, we have not gone through what he's going to do with play calling duties or anything like that. Like I said, he just found out about this. You know, the only thing I told him to do was call his wife. So that's the only instruction I gave him.
And this morning when he coached practice, was he under the head coach title?
No, this all happened at the conclusion of practice.
Was Pelini at practice?
He was at practice today, yes.
Pat, we got an alert from Katrina at 10 o'clock this morning that practice was closed to the media.
Correct.
Was the decision made by you before 10 o'clock? Was that stemming directly from your decision?
Yes, that was my decision to close practice. All right, any other questions? All right, thank you, guys.